Hello, fifth grade. We are with Mrs. Cox today, and this is math. We are on chapter 12, lesson 4, page number 927. This is a hands-on measuring chapter, and I've already gone ahead and used a cute little ruler, but you can also use the centimeters on a regular ruler, and I've measured all of these figures to help us with this lesson. All right, so instructions: measure the sides and the angles to determine if each of the figures are congruent. Then determine if each of the sides are parallel. Okay, so let's figure out this and put them into categories here on this table. Opposite sides are congruent, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is true. These are opposite sides and they are congruent, which means they're the same length. Very good. Number 1 doesn't play nice with that one. Opposite sides are parallel. So opposite means across from each other. And yes, those are parallel and those are parallel. Same with this one. These ones are parallel and these ones are parallel. Same with figure 3 and 5. Opposite angles are congruent. So that means if you were to divide that in half, would this angle match this angle? Which we know that to be true. Same with this one. These angles are congruent with these angles. This one is the same. We're going to have tiny little acute angles there. We're going to have obtuse angles right there. So they're opposite in their angles and they're both obtuse. These ones are opposite and they are both acute. Okay, so that is how opposite angles are congruent. All right, number 1, complete the attributes of figure 2. So we're talking about figure 2. It is asking opposite sides are blank and blank. So figure 2, opposite sides, okay, opposite sides, they are parallel and congruent. Good job. Opposite angles, so the opposite angle, those ones are acute, those ones are obtuse, they are congruent, which means they're the same. This figure has how many sides and how many angles? 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sides and 4 angles. Good job. Which figures have all the attributes of figure 2? So figure 2, things that are sides that are parallel, 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 parallel. This one doesn't have sides that are parallel because if you were to continue to draw those sides down, they would intersect down here, and that doesn't make them play nice with the rest of these. So definitely 3, 4, and 5 have the parallel sides and the attributes of angles in each of the corners. Which figures have 4 right angles? All right, looking at the figures, can you draw a letter L? Remember, if you can draw a letter L, you can draw a right angle in it. So I can draw letter L's there. So these ones all have right angles. Right angles. And I would say that's probably all that we can do is 3 and 5 are the only ones we can draw right angles in. These ones are obtuse angles. We can't draw letter L's in those ones. All right, let's turn to 928, shall we? Okay, the state of Nevada, this is the Nevada, by the way, is in the shape of a quadrilateral, which means there's 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are 4 corners and 4 angles. There is one set of blank opposite sides. So they're looking for parallel. And parallel means it's the same length from here to here, from here to here. Yep, one side of parallel sides. There's the parallel side right there. Parallel. Opposite sides are not, yep, you guessed it, congruent. Remember how you spell this one by having our fun little GRU in there from the Minions. Opposite angles are not blank, but there are 2 right angles. Okay, opposite angles are not the same, but there are 2 right angles. Can you see them right there? Perfect. Explain one way to determine a quadrilateral has congruent angles. This is where they want you to measure. They want to say that you could measure from here to here, and that would be a little over 3. Come down here, and that would still be a little bit over 3. So we know that these two lines are congruent. Also, for angles to be congruent, you need to make sure that if you were to divide it in half, that this angle and this angle would match, which they don't. This angle and this angle does not match. So that's how you determine if the quadrilateral is equal. So for example, if I drew a square, I could draw a right angle in each of those corners, and this corner and this corner are congruent, this corner and this corner are congruent, which means it would have congruent angles. All right, fabulous friends, let's move to number 6. Which does not belong? Circle the quadrilateral that does not belong with the other 3 and explain your reasoning. Okay, so let's looking at these ones. We're looking for parallel sides. So if I were to go on forever right here, those sides would never touch. However, if I were to go on forever here, those sides would eventually intersect. So that one doesn't have parallel sides. Looking at this one, it has parallel sides and parallel sides. So this one does not belong and is the only quadrilateral that does not have 2 pairs of parallel sides. These sides are parallel, they would go on and not touch. But when you try to do that side, it doesn't work. 2 sides, 2 pairs. This one has 2 pairs, 2 pairs, 2 pairs. This one only has 1 pair, so it does not belong, it doesn't fit, and is the only quadrilateral that does not have 2 pairs of parallel sides. All right, number 7, fill in the blank with the correct term or number to complete this sentence. A quadrilateral right here is a polygon with how many sides and how many angles? Quadrilaterals have how many? Yep, you've got it. Nicely done. By the way, if you haven't gotten this printed out yet, go ahead and take a screenshot and save it to your iPad. If you have the capabilities to do so, printing it out would be helpful on the test and in any of the future lessons. All right, friends, good job. Now remember, we did this homework together, page 928. You still have 10 questions on your ALEX you need to go and answer. We work on this together as a class, and then you have to demonstrate your learning by going and answer those 10 questions on ALEX. So thank you so much and have a great day.